Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who caught his girlfriend kissing his cousin's friend at a family party. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. I, 28 male, have been seeing my girlfriend Trisha, 26, for just over 3 years. I was planning on proposing later this year. I've met Trisha's family, she's met mine. We've always gotten along really well. Every spring, my family hosts a barbecue pretty much every week. A couple of weeks ago, it was my turn to host. I invited Trisha and her family. I was tending to the burgers about halfway through the affair. I happened to notice Trisha go behind a tree with a friend of my cousin's, Jake, 25. I really trusted her, but thought that was weird. So I asked my brother to man the grill. When I went back there, I saw Trisha kiss Jake. Before I knew it, I was screaming at her. Trisha asked to go somewhere we could be alone to talk. I just got louder. Everyone was staring by this point. She started begging me not to make a scene. I simply told Trisha she had made the scene and went inside. Her dad came in and, to my amazement, apologized. He said that as far as he knew, Trisha had never acted like that before. I agreed, but made it clear I'm done. He understood. Everyone cleared out soon after. Trisha's best friend, who hadn't been there, called me the next day. She told me that Trisha had dated Jake in high school. I hadn't been aware of that. She told me she didn't think Trisha had ever had serious feelings for him. I told her it was serious enough to cheat. She informed me that Trisha had been seeing Jake behind my back for several months. I thanked her. She told me that she hadn't felt right not telling me. A little while later, Trisha came to get some stuff she had left at my place. We ended up screaming at each other in front of my house. A bunch of our neighbors saw, so she left again. A few days later, Trisha texted me saying that she was going to try to sue me for emotional damages. I laughed. Good luck. She didn't reply. I did feel bad that she had been exposed in front of everyone for a minute, though. I've always thought Trisha was a good person. I never suspected this. I'm shattered. Though I feel better knowing that all of Trisha's family knows how she really is. I'm also really glad we weren't married yet. Update. I found out recently that Trisha hasn't been whom I thought she was this whole time. I went out to the bar the other night and ran into a guy I know casually who went to high school with Trisha. We got to talking. Turns out Trisha has cheated on every boyfriend she's ever had. He was surprised I didn't know. I told him I didn't think anyone did. He said he had heard rumors that others had known. Told me I deserved better. I agreed. We've started to become friends now. I've been casually dating since right after I caught Trisha. There's no one special yet. I'm not sure there will be. I'm enjoying looking though. Also, nothing ever came of Trisha's claim that she could sue me. I spoke to a lawyer who had pretty much the same reaction I had had. I was glad to hear that. My cousin also cut Jake off. From what I hear, he's seeing Trisha. My cousin told him if that's the kind of person he is, he'd rather not be associated. My cousin also mentioned most of Jake's friends cut him off. I feel vindicated. I'm really glad to be closing this chapter. You dodged a bullet with this one, OP. You definitely deserve way better than Trisha. The fact that she kissed him when you and your family were a few feet away just shows the level of respect she has for you and the relationship. She has been cheating on you for months, and she was still brazen enough to threaten to sue you. I'm glad you found out when you did. You deserve way better than her, and your cousin deserves a better friend. Story 2. I'm 29 male, divorcing my wife, 21. She's having an affair with a married man, and I found his wife. Need advice. Hello, Reddit. My wife and I recently decided to divorce, and in the process of figuring out custody, where we will live, and how our girls will be taken care of, I discovered she already has another boyfriend. Let me tell you about this boyfriend. He's my age, 29. He has a wife of over 7 years whom he's still living with, and 2 kids. His wife doesn't work and never has. He apparently makes a great deal of money and has promised my soon-to-be ex-wife the moon. He says he has served his wife divorce papers and plans to sell their house and use the proceeds to buy the two of them a house together in the next few months. He has told her he'll buy her a new car in the same time frame. He tells her about his family cabin up north, and he tells her he'll put away a college fund for my daughters, whom he's never met. My wife, who still lives with me in a separate room, swoons over him. She texts him non-stop. And when I mean non-stop, I mean almost 20,000 texts exchanged between the two of them last month. In fact, when she's home, she never leaves the same spot on the couch because her phone routinely dies and she needs to plug it in to continue to talk to him. In the last few days, I've been the recipient of most of the information regarding that man mentioned above and the relationship the two of them are having. This information was given to me by my wife. It may seem weird, but I didn't know about them when I filed for divorce. Our marriage had been tenuous, and we decided we should part on good terms with honesty and courtesy, so our girls will not know a bitter mom and dad. I found out his name, the fact that he has a wife, 2 kids, and more. She also informed me she intends to be engaged with him within the year and move in with him by October. Our divorce won't even be finalized until January. I've found out more information than I care to know about. The money, the house, the college funds, etc. My wife also tells me that he served his wife with papers, but she's stupid, something she routinely says, and hasn't even hired a lawyer yet and will end up getting nothing in the divorce. I still love my wife, and despite the infidelity, I tried to get her to view things from my point of view. A well-off man of 9+ years of age is promising her everything she could ever want. You get the picture. She swears this is not the case and it's true love. I found the whole thing completely ridiculous. They've known each other for 3 months, so she claims. And while I wouldn't otherwise care what she does since we're divorcing, my daughters will have to be exposed to this man. Tonight, I looked into everything. Not because I want to save my marriage, but because the whole thing stinks to high heaven, and I worry about how this will all play out for my kids. First, I discovered the wife's name on Facebook, and there are pictures posted of the two of them looking quite happy and obviously together as early as 2 days ago. In fact, her Facebook is a collage of the two of them and their 2 kids. No sign of discord. While this is not proof of anything, surely a stay-at-home mom with no job and 2 kids wouldn't post pictures of how happy she is with her husband 2 days ago when she was supposedly served with divorce papers 2 weeks ago, would she? Second, there's no record of a court filing under either name in our district courts. He told my wife he filed for divorce earlier than I did. I searched for my case and it popped right up. A search for either of their names produces nothing. For the skeptics on this one, they both have very distinct names. So it's not a simple issue of a Tom being filed under Thomas. And I know the township they currently live in, so I know I'm referencing the proper court. I have no idea what to do. I debated messaging the wife on Facebook this evening, if for no other reason than to find some answers. Have you been served with papers? Do you know about the affair? Are you aware your husband and my wife laugh at how stupid you are and are banking on that stupidity in the divorce? I'm sure you can see where my mind is going. I don't know where my place is in all this. Should I even know her name? Should I say anything? If I were to say something, certainly his life may become far worse than it currently is, which, frankly, I don't care about. However, I'm certain that my wife, the mother of my 2 kids, may never forgive me for saying something to her. Especially if this disrupts her plans for this new house, car, the life of luxury she's expecting, which it most certainly will. This, of course, could have a very terrible blowback on me and my kids. I'm at a loss. I think perhaps what happens in the boyfriend's divorce is none of my business, and I should stay out of it. But at the same time, if my wife were going behind my back for months, I would certainly want to know from someone. And I also need to look out for the welfare of my children here. In short, help. This is a hard decision to make, OP. I'm sorry you're in this situation to start with. I understand your feelings about your wife's boyfriend. I wouldn't want a man like him around my kids either. It seems like he's stringing your wife along and cheating on his wife emotionally along with it. He sounds awful. I wish your wife would be more sensible when it comes to this, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you should wait until the divorce is finalized. The wait is long, but having a peaceful divorce will be worth it. After that, then you can go ahead and tell his wife. Now for some comments. If your wife is convinced that she's gonna run off into the sunset with him and be supported by him after your divorce, use that to your advantage. Get a lawyer, play nice, and use your wife's naivety to get yourself a favorable custodial and financial agreement. Then, after your divorce is finalized, out the other man to his wife. I feel like your wife is being pretty stupid. Document her behavior because it probably can be used against her during the divorce. She's not acting as an adult, and if I were you, I would push for full custody of the children. Also, be ready to have her come crying back when she gets dumped, mistress-zoned by her new boyfriend. It would not surprise me a bit. There are a couple of ways to handle this. Personally, I would put you and your daughters first, so the focus of your actions should be on what's best for them and your future. If you go to the wife now, or really do anything that interferes with your wife and her relationship, then you become the bad guy who ruined her perfect future she's built up in her head. She would put all that on you, and it would potentially make co-parenting very difficult for you. You know this guy's full of shit. October's not that far away, and by then he'll feed her more lines of how he can't leave just yet. But to be patient, something about his kids. I would say right now, focus on you and making it through your divorce. Then, you can decide on how and when to approach the wife if it hasn't blown up by then.